This dude tried to be slick, and I ended up fucking him up. Ended up beating him. He was a pretty good player, but towards the end he folded. You know, it's getting to a point now where these guys, I know that I'm better than all of them. And even if they pretty good, I just wait for them to make a mistake. And it's like, once they make that mistake, I know I got them. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. So I'm going to show you this game, how I broke this dude down slowly but surely. And I got the victory, beat him by 13 points. End up, you know, busting his ass. All right, folks. Here he go. I was white, he was black. Let's make this quick. Moved up, he moved up. Threatened him, he protected. Got my other knight out, trying to develop my pieces. Move my bishop out so I can castle. Wanted to get him up so that I can let my bishop, black bishop, free as well. Then I castled. Always want to castle early. He castled as well, so he's a pretty good player as well. He castled early, he knew to do that. With my knight up, I don't even really know why I did that. I guess I was trying to get right here. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Why? I guess I wanted to threaten his bishop. He ended up taking my knight. I took his bishop. So we 3-3 early on. Close match. He moved his knight down. I'm threatening his other bishop and his knight. And he threatens my knight. I decided to take his knight instead of his bishop. That bishop ended up causing me a lot of trouble lately. I mean, later on in the game. I wish I would have took the bishop instead. He took my knight. Okay, so both of my knights is off the board. I ended up kind of regretting that later on. So I moved him up. Just wanted to do some damage over here. He ended up pushing me back. And then he took that pawn right there that was left hanging. So that's kind of a mistake I made. So now I'm down 7-6. Leading by 1 point early on in the game. I move my rook over. He moves back. Move my rook here so I can move up here, take him. He protected him. Move my bishop right here so I can move up and take him. But he didn't let that happen. So he was a really good player. And I was like, well, wow. I really got to focus here. So I moved my knight back down. He moved his bishop down. And I moved my rook up out the way, out of harm's way. Because he was attacking my rook, threatening my rook with his bishop. And then he moves over, protecting, giving this pawn right there on this line more protection. So I'm like, wow. So it came a point in time in the game where I kind of just was moving and really didn't know what to do. Because as you see, it's not really much right here. He's blocking off all of this. There's nothing really to do right here because he has control of the center part of the board. And that's, anytime you have control of the center part of the board, you're going to have the advantage in the game. And he has center control, and there's really not many options for me here. So what I did was threaten his bishop. Okay, so now it's a little more to do now. And I got the bishop off the board. When I find myself kind of stuck in games and there's not really many places to move without getting taken, I just try to exchange pieces to make some room. So I gave this rook more protection here on this line. And then he gave that pawn more protection with his queen. So I moved him up because I want to break something up here. But then he moves down. And I'm like, oh man. This dude really making it hard for me. Okay, so I decided to move him up and threaten him. He takes him. And that really was no purpose because I didn't realize that his knight was protecting the rook right there. I didn't realize that. That's why I made that move. Because I figured if I come up take him, he'd take me with him. And I'd take me with my take his rook with my rook, and then put his king in check, and he had to move down here. But I didn't realize that his knight was right there. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so he up 11-9 right now, right? So this one I really focus. Move my rook over, and we exchange rooks. And I'm threatening this pawn here, and then he protected it. But then I had to do something and break up my little king protection over here and threaten that knight. Had to do something at this point because otherwise this game was going to be a real long, boring game. He decided to exchange queens. I was okay with that. And towards the end of the game is where he made the mistake right here. Now I was sitting here thinking like, what should I do? because I know he's going to take him, put me into check, and then he got his pawn protecting him. But I was looking at the fact that I could exchange 2 pieces for 1, and that's what he fell for. He took him, I took him, and he had to take my rook. He wasn't just going to let me keep my rook. But then with him taking my rook, he allows me to take his rook. Bam, and then bam. And after that, it was a wrap. See how I got him? I knew eventually I was going to set him up good enough and break him down. That's what I did. So from this point forward, he ended up quitting. I was eating up all his pieces, and as you can see here, and then I got my queen back. Scored now 36-24. It's a wrap. Ain't really much you can do. I was just playing around with him because I wanted to get another piece. And when he's saying I was about to get another piece, another queen, he just quit. And that was that. Alright, folks. Peace.